In these times, there is going to be an awakening of this earth. And the awakening of this earth comes with a shudder. In many ways, as you understand personally that a type of what might appear to be a sickness that can come upon a physical body when a higher transmission is beginning to move through. And it is the same for the earth. The earth is going through a giant transition as she is welcomed into a higher frequency of her own experience. And with that, all that are resting upon her will have this effect as well. So, the shuddering experience that you might experience in your own body when your frequency is elevated is also what occurs on the Divine Mother Earth upon her elevation into higher frequency. And this may look like what many call earth changes, disruptions, volcanoes. And within all of this, there is a confusion among the human people who live greatly by their passions and their emotions. They live in this astral plane greatly. And in many ways, the more the power of the emotions and the fears, the more encapsulated they are by this astral cloud. So it is important for those who can work towards understanding their emotional body, which is the most direct and simple explanation for the astral effect on humanity. It is to not get taken over or taken down by this field that is descending into a type of density like a mist. And so on the one hand, you may see the light coming from the sun, which is described by many to be changed. But what needs to be understood is that on one level, it is the light emanations from the sun directly, the solar logos, the heart of this whole solar system. But there is also another light that is occurring, and that is a light from various quantum fields that are opening simultaneously. You cannot witness the quantum fields, but this is occurring now. And this is part of the push-pull between what many understand to be good and evil in those terminologies when they call out some of the things occurring that are dark and seem cruel and seem the opposite to the direction of the heart of humanity. And the light, in many ways, although it is not exactly a visible light, a light that one sees, it is the essence of light, that which lies behind the visibility of it, which is the true light. And that is awakening within humanity cells within their body individually, and the beings that live within the cells. It is awakening all aspects of humanity. And those who are ready, you might say, to disrobe or dismantle the falsehoods, who want to embody more fully their true essence, their true light, it will be a welcome shift. For those who are not interested at this time in a type of evolution, it will be difficult, but there will be a shuddering experience, and it will last for 3 days. And the shuddering will be not what anyone can truly understand, because it is happening on such finite, refined levels, so that it will be a sense of a shuddering, as if a pulling apart, very much the way you may experience in your world the turbulence. It will begin on the 18th. Yes, this is the 16th, is the day when the light that is unseen light increases on this plane. No, this will not be necessary, because it will not be that type of an experience. Many are at this point experiencing this type of experience in pockets around the world, in the form of wars and starvation and ecological disaster. So there are pockets of humanity which are rightly so experiencing what their souls require to evolve. And some of them decided to participate in this way, in these zones of the world where you might say the battle over souls is occurring. But these souls, while they are caught in horrific circumstances from a human perspective, they are growing their souls rather quickly, because they desire to be in this new vibrational earth. They desire to graduate quickly. So understand that no matter how everything looks from a human perspective at this point, that all is right in the world, as they say. And the shift from the planet will officially, in that sense, begin at that time. There will be an influx of light on that day, on this 16th day. And this will begin the breaking apart process between the two vibrational worlds. And so, in this sense, you might say that you have chosen to be in the higher frequency evolution path. And this will not require, as you would understand it, survival items at this point. It is merely to understand what is happening. It is to understand that many right now are experiencing elevation in their consciousness through various means that are not what they appear to be. And we give the example of the sickness that appears to be a physical sickness in the body. That is an elevation from one reality to another reality. And this is how it's a microcosm of how it will be. So for the earth herself, she is experiencing in her own way what one could understand to be a virus, but it is not truly a virus in the way that humanity has decided a virus is scientifically. It is how one moves in a jump from one level to another. And we say that in that form, this is why the disease that many have called this COVID would be an example of this elevation in consciousness, and something that was required to have a name to enable everyone in the world to potentially take on this new vibration. Not everybody chose to want to elevate. Many chose to leave for these times, and this was a way for them to leave. And those who chose to stay were primarily in two camps. The ones who were going to be awakened through it, the ones who were going to continue to remain in densification. And then there was also a third group, and a third group was the most interesting of all, because the third group let it go by almost unnoticed, which is interesting in that this third group will be, you might say, the young souls who will begin the process on this earth that is not the new earth, you might say, the new high vibrational earth, but they will be on this old earth that will have a lot to work on. But they will be, you might say, new souls to come in to offer correction to this earth that will, in essence, be left behind in a way so that the many who were not ready to evolve, they will have a place to work through their ideas and understand something else. And that is this earth where those souls will seemingly be left behind to work on more basic primal urges will not be a true earth in the way that Gaia, this earth, is an earth, a spirit. It will be an experience more of a hologram. It will not be a being such as the spirit of the earth is a being. This will be almost what you would understand more clearly to be a holographic world, one that is not with spirit at least initially. Over time, depending on the work of the humanity that is working through its primal, basic human urges, will eventually invite in or create for itself a being who will be the spirit of this holographic earth. And it will be a birth of a new type of being in that form. We understand that this might be complicated to understand this process, but also understand that even a human being, one by one as individuals, can create from their own thoughts a spirit being, just from their thoughts alone. So it is not that far or difficult to imagine something that starts out as a hologram, that it begins to develop its own spirit being. So then this, we will say, it will be a new earth, but it will be from the old, lingering, immovable, in a certain way, energy fields that really need to be worked on. And we would say that in a condensation experience, when enough beings come together with all of their ignorance pressing down on everyone else, that is the amount of pressure that will be required for the change that will be for that group of individuals who have still interest in working on darker tendencies. We know that this is a complicated subject, but we wanted to bring this idea forward so that you would be aware of the energies coming in. So the 16th will be the beginning of an influx of light. And as we said, it will not just be light from the sun. It will be a quantum explosion of light from all beings in this sense. It will be because each of you is a light. Each of you is a blinding light to the point of where there is no light, if that can be understood. And it will be as though holding hands, and this light will occur. And this will, in this sense, begin to destabilize those who were not anchored in their light, and it will begin to open doors for those who have been consciously working towards knowing their true divine nature. And so, as we have said, the beginning will be the light, the burst of light, and then, while dates are very difficult from the understanding of energy and the understanding of yugas of time change, we would say that the 18th would be the beginning of a 3-day period of a shift that will occur. And in that time, there will be portals and doorways that will open, and many beings of light will begin to embody in a certain way, not physically, but they will begin to appear here on this planet in numbers where those who felt they could not see beings will see them. And these beings will be invited through what had been a type of dense net that had been in place around the earth. And this will be disintegrating at that point, and the influx of light will be tremendous. So there will be many interactions with beings of high vibrational light. And this includes angelic beings. This includes beings who are, as they say, non-dimensional beings. This will be even human beings who have arrived at a certain level of enlightenment within themselves from other realms that will be returning, because many beings had to go to other realms in order to evolve into more profound levels of light. And these beings will be returning to help elevate and help human beings acclimatize to this new reality. We shall say that at this point, the need for the presence of the Elohim to the elevated frequencies is the reason that we are attending this meeting today. It is to elevate. In many ways, these features are operating at a much higher frequency than ever. So it is like this idea that your frequency is personally elevated. And because of this, you will be able to benefit many others, because in this way it is like the description of the Buddha, and also in a more simple idea, the 1 minute mile. This idea of, if it can be done by one, it can be done by many. And to embody this much light consciously is the point. It is the consciousness itself that is the point to this exchange, because the consciousness being lit up with the light of the Godhead to the maximum that is possible in any one moment would be the greatest assist to this planet and to those beings on this planet. It is a helping hand over the rushing river. This is the simplistic way of understanding this exchange. But in many ways, it is good to have awareness about these things, these dates and times. They create and build a foundational reality to the events themselves. And in this way, as you may have understood recently, that to bring something into what has been the third density and now the fourth density. The fourth density is taking on the characteristics of the third density. And in this, we mean that in many ways, the fourth density is becoming the third density. And emotions and passions and feelings are becoming a little bit more solidified in a certain way. And that is why they are unavoidable to many. And that is why passions and anger and various emotions are flaring, because these are not things anymore that people can push into the next realm and deny and dumb down with various chemicals and activities. These are the true experiences. It is like the idea of, it is one thing to have somebody on the telephone, giving you information that is uncomfortable. It is another thing to have them sleeping on your couch. And this new energy that's coming in is like having all the emotions that you would avoid now sleeping on your couch. And so there are those who are now awaking to themselves and what one could understand to be this idea of reminiscent energies that are called trauma. And it is unavoidable now. And it has been waking up and waking up. And so for those who have been, as you say, working on yourself, fearlessly taking inventory on every aspect that is possible to learn and digest in this life, it is the helping hand to the next level. And while there are so few relative to the population of this earth, it is a mystical truth that the higher the vibration, the more effect it has on the many. And we understand you are familiar with this idea. We will, for this time, this influx of energy is significant. It is a different formulation than has been here before. It is a more rarefied, purified